Greetings everyone, and welcome to Quality is the Best Business Plan, a QMS with the nitty-gritties of ISO 9001-2015 webinar. Happy to have you all here with us. I am R. Talamani, the PECB organizer of this webinar, and the guest for today is M. Youssef K., an executive consultant and trainer at Six Sigma Associates. Today we will discuss how a QMS integrates the various internal processes within the organization and intends to provide a process approach for product execution. Please feel free to write your questions and comments in the question box in the right-hand control panel, or you can use the raise hand function. We will unmute you and you will have a chance to ask the question directly. Youssef will answer to all questions accordingly at the end of the presentation. Please, Youssef, you may continue the presentation.
Right, Arta. Thank you so much, Arta.
You're welcome.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. Today, we will discuss not the 100%, not the 90%, but 80% details of the realities of QMS with respect to ISO 9001-2015. I am Youssef.K. So this slide is showing the associated vocabulary with quality management, customer-focused approach, system, business, achieved services, implementation, excellence, consumer, mission, objectives, quality rationale, and customer satisfaction. Quality management system is basically leads towards the leadership style, the continuous improvement, supplier relationship, the exact target-oriented and target-focused based decision-making, involvement of people associated with QMS, and above all, the customer focus. Quality management system is basically roam around between three things: policies, processes, and procedures. QMS is basically required for planning and executing the different sort of processes associated with business to make happy the customer, to meet up the exact requirements of the customer, and get the accreditation, the personnel certification from an international standard. And we can quote here that ISO 9001 for QMS can be an example. Quality is a cultural transition. QMS, the quality processes, is basically a continuous improvement process in which we have to define the process, we have to measure it, we have to analyze after measuring, then we have to apply improvement methodologies, and then we have to control and then continue the circle. So if we want to change, so QMS can help us a lot. And change as a process, change management is not an event. It requires leadership style, leadership management, determination we need to run it successfully, resilience we need, and last but not least, second last but not least is the commitment, and then the engagement. Picture is showing the leadership synchronization, determination, the courage we should have to touch the peak of the quality management, resilience, the maximum effort. We need to have some commitment to cook the things properly in QMS. QMS is basically a strategic choice we have, and that is financial and economical benefits. Effective application of ISO 9001, the quality management system principle is equals to financial benefits works from cost-effective management practices within the organization. Economic benefit results from improvements in the overall worth and the health of the organization. These are the management principles we need to focus in ISO 9001. We discuss it, people involvement, we discuss it, process approach is a new thing, system approach, here on the slide is a new thing, structural approach to decision making we discussed, mutually beneficial supplier relationship. So is a detail available in this presentation. So the presentation will be uploaded after this webinar. So the further details you can catch it online. So we basically the nitty-gritties we need to discuss here, because we have a very short span of time, 30 minutes totally, including a question and answer session. So I need to wrap up. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. So realization of the benefits we should understand in the quality management system. So there are some inputs, there are some process, there are some outputs. Inputs are the same, which we have seen in the previous slides. The 8 inputs we will go for, and then techniques, the processes we will apply, the assess requirements, plan and activities, allocate appropriate resources, implement the CI, measure the results to determine the effectiveness of the process, and the output we will get it as a growth, the increasing growth in everything in the business will give us in the form of increased productivity. So now we will see something about the ISO 9001:2015. Here's the glimpse, the graphical representation of the worldwide total that started thinking people on the globe in 1993 about QMS. And here is the statistic till the updated statistic till 2011. We can see the increasing graph of QMS popularity and implementation. In USA, was on peak in 2005 and 2006. Domain-wise, software 7%, services 43%, hardware 31%, processed materials 19%. People are using it. customer satisfaction, the results based, market need, mandated customer requirement, self-declared conformance, and others. So the framework of it is basically, it enhances the alignment and the compatibility of the standard, standardized and effectively developed standards, useful for organizations which pursue multiple standards. Some standards already under common framework, that's 22000, 20001, 5001, and it's under the revision of the common framework, that is environmental management, that is ISMS and the QMS. So here are the some bullets about the points about ISO 901:2015, is that will take stance and a quick start, the excellent, the good start from the scope, and then normative references, some sort of important terms and definitions, context of the organization, the leadership management, planning, support, operations, performance evaluation, and the last but not least, the improvement. This is most probably focused on the risk-based management in the business while implementing QMS, and starts in focusing the clause 6.1 for the actions to address risks, to make a risk register of the risks, the mitigation plan, the contingencies, and all. Objectives and measurements, we can focus in it. You can get this presentation online through PCB URL after this webinar for the details, and read in a detailed way. Communication and awareness. We'll focus the 7.3 clause in it, which will focus the different policies and objectives, implications of QMS, conformities, non-conformities, sort of activity. Again, 7.4 focus will the communication. In clause 7.5 in ISO 901:2015 will give a detailed information about the documentation, dealing. And then further, if there is a clause which is slightly connected before 7.5 number, so that would be included in it as a reference. Class 8 is about operations, requirement of customer satisfaction, design and development changes, information for external providers, release of products and services now part of operational control in ISO 9001:2015, non-conforming processes, outputs, and product and services as in a good productivity way. It's high-level structure of new clause numbers. Then scope, we have seen, context of the organization, that's the number 4. Understanding the organization, its context, needs and expectation, the scope of the organization and the project, MS, the management system, in the leadership, roles and responsibility and authoritative attitude of the leadership, complete leadership management and commitment with respect to meet up the policy standards. In planning, support, resources, competence, awareness, communications, documented information. In operations, operation planning and control, performance evaluation, monitoring, internal audit, 3-stage internal audit for the certification process, and a detailed training for the personal certification. So we can discuss it later, and then go for the management review. And the last but not least, the improvement. So we will see the non-conformities and their corrective and preventive actions, and then the continuous improvement concept. Some examples context of the organization, understanding the needs and expectations of the interested parties, quality management system, detailed view, leadership, which we have seen in the previous slide on bullets. So here are the details. Action to address risks and opportunities. The risk management we discussed a couple of slides back. Resources we need, the infrastructure, the process environment, monitoring, knowledge, operational planning and control, control of external provision of goods and services. The most important, the highly important is the performance evaluation. What we have done with monitoring, with measurement, with analysis, evaluation, internal audit, and the management review. So we have to go through with it all these points in the performance evaluation phase of QMS ISO 9001:2015. So this is all about the nitty-gritties of ISO 9001:2015. In a very speedy way, I try to cover up all the areas and the points of QMS with respect to ISO 9001:2015 due to the shortage of time. So we have 7 minutes more. So Ma'am Arta, over to you. Please take questions, and then I'll answer all the questions accordingly. Hello?
Let me repeat that for you. What's the difference between continual and continuous? Is a question.
It's a question. Okay. It's all about the vocabulary thing of QMS. So continual and continuous, it's simple in meaning that in the continuous is basically a word which has to give us a concept that we will not interrupt the process, and we should have a good sort of mechanism to move forward in a very efficient way. And the continual is basically the process which is going on and on and on, and we cannot stop it, and if we have to stop, so then we can bear the loss in the system. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. Please go ahead and ask questions. You can use the chat box or use the raise hand function in order to ask a question. Thank you. The next question is, what will be the role of internal auditor in relation to ISO 9001?
Yeah, very interesting, very good question, Arta. ISO 9001 auditor is having basically the huge responsibility on the shoulders. So lead auditors basically are the personalities who they are lead the whole ISO QMS system. They are responsible to check. They are responsible to see inside and outside of the box of QMS of ISO 9001, and these are the personalities. They help the organization to get the certification as a system certification to certify their brand for ISO 9001 QMS. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. Next question is, from your practical experience, what are the most common mistakes occurring in an organization when they first start to implement the QMS?
Arta, can you repeat it again, please, the question?
Sure. From your practical experience, what are the most common mistakes occurring within an organization when they first start to implement a QMS?
Oh yeah, very interesting question. First of all, most probably people have to they have a wish to earn the QMS certification for their system, but in fact and unfortunately even they don't have the awareness that how they'll take the start, what are the different steps, what is the exact checklist to get the QMS for their organization. So in which first of all there should be a complete quality thinking prevailed and having a concept in the organization, what is quality thinking, and then they should have at least 3 persons, they should have a certification on ISO 9001 2015 QMS, and then within a 15 days training session on the implementation of QMS, they should think after to implement and to get certification for their organization, number one. And second is that they should be very keenful, and they should be very screened about the concept, the actual checklist, and the audit procedure of the QMS. So most probably if you have to lead with the exact checklist of the QMS, so end of the day no chance is there that there would be any sort of a conformancy be in the process. So audit is one of the main in which we need to be take care of during the implementation of the QMS for the organization. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. The next question is, do you know what kind of quality certification is specific for telecom operator? We've heard about TL 9000.
Actually, whatever is the number, that doesn't matter. The thing is that the organization first of all should have ISO 9001 QMS certification first. That is the base for another certification. So first organization should go for ISO 9001, and then after that they can go for the domain specific certification. So in telecommunication numbers, in telecommunication there are a number of certifications we can implement as an quality management system in telecom. So first I think so they should have ISO 9001 QMS, and then they can go according to the domain specific certification for their telecommunication sector. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. The next question is, can an organization still continue to maintain an MR under the new standard even when no requirement of such is stated?
Upgradation, the updated versions are everywhere, so we can update the current and the existing in QMS. And as we know that QMS ISO 9001 jumps once in a one go from ISO 9000 9001 2012 to 2015. So we should be very carefully screened on it, and then see and check the biannually, the annually upgradations of the ISO standard. So stay in touch with the ISO International Organization for Standards UK and get all the updates and then upgrade it. Simple. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. The next question is, do you think it is better to follow just one standard, for example, ISO 9001, or to adapt and adopt several standards and best practices such as ISO, ITLI, TL 9000, Six Sigma?
Very good question. A detailed answer in my mind, but we are running in a shortage of time, so I'll answer in a nutshell. As I explained before, that ISO 9001 QMS is the main. ISO 9001 QMS is the main, and then after that, we need to understand this thing, that how much the quality awareness and the quality concept we have. So that is basically that, and I will recommend people that they should go for Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is one of the best, and the need-based and the business-based certifications are there. If the people are grabbing business from the market, so they have to be helpless in a way, that if they will not have the ITIL and they don't have the ISO 50001 and ISO 14001, so they cannot get the business from the market. So this is one of the scenario. Otherwise, QMS 9001, 2015, and the Six Sigma. The certification for personals and certification for the business is one of the best. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. The next question is, what's the best approach to apply a risk-based thinking to an organization QMS?
Yeah. Risk management, we need to study a little bit about risk management, and I hope my last webinar is still in the online database of PCB. You can catch online my detailed risk management effectiveness, effective strategies on this, the question which you are asking. You can go through with it, one thing. And the second thing is that for the risk management, first we need to jot down all the risks in the risk register, and then we should move towards the risk fabric and color the risks, that the risks are yellow, risks are green, risks are gray, so which sort of risk we are facing, and then 2 or 3 more steps are involved in it, and then you can cater it by and through this process the whole risk management. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. The next question is, after the lead auditor certification requirement, which other steps are required to implement a QMS management review in a company?
Sorry. Basically, this is the one of the main that the lead auditor training is basically, I think so. This is the main. It covers 95% nitty-gritties and details of the QMS. And further, I don't think so. A person need, because this is not one of the very hi-fi. This is one of the very hi-fi sort of standard which needs another or a separate training. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. The next question is, you stated that there is several certifications of telecommunication on top of ISO. Can you please list some of them?
In telecommunication, most probably the main is like one of is ISO 9001, and then further organizations basically lead through ITIL, and for environmental they have to focus on ISO 14001. For occupational health and safety, they have to focus on ISO 18001. For energy management, they have to focus on ISO 50001. And for basically telecommunication, they have to deal with the big data concept. So 2 or 3 certifications are associated with the big data, which is currently is not in my mind. So I'll email you the further numbers. Arta ma'am, you can note it down, this question person email ID, and then you can send him the details.
Will do.
I hope I answered the question.
Yes, thank you. Will do, no problem. We appreciate your questions. However, because of the time limited, we have to conclude this presentation. If you have any other questions, you can send your questions through email, and we will answer to them individually. Thank you again, Youssef, for this clear and informative presentation. I want to thank all attendees as well for taking time out of their busy schedules to join us today. We hope you enjoyed the webinar. To keep up with our webinars, please check PECB's webinar schedule in our website, pecb.com, or our official social media network, since next week we're organizing webinars on interesting topics. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.